5, 4, 3, 2.
Yo, what's up, fellow humans? Welcome back. Today, we're building something straight out of the Nickelodeon universe. Yep, you've seen it on iCarly, Victorious, and all those iconic shows. We're talking about the legendary Pear Phone. But today, I'm bringing it to real life with real aluminum, obviously with my own twist.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I'll walk you through the design process, machining, and finishing processes to make this prop feel like it just came out of the set, but better. So grab some spaghetti tacos, hit that like button, and let's get to it. Everything essentially starts with designing. I first began by opening Fusion 360, which is the software that I use to design, and I imported a canvas/picture of the Pear Phone so I could trace it over. Once I traced it over, I went ahead and extruded it a couple times, one for the base and the other one for the outline, I guess you could say. And from there, it was just a question of scaling it to the actual size that I wanted. And to scale it, I simply measured the metal piece that I had and made it a little bit bigger just because it fit better in my hands.
Now everyone's favorite part, CAM, Computer-Aided Manufacturing. I believe CAM is sort of like the sibling of Computer-Aided Design, which is pretty much you coding the G-code to create the thing that's gonna cut through the metal or any material that you're using. I ended up using as well Fusion 360 under the CAM features. I did some pockets on the part as well as an outline to remove the part, leaving some tabs so the piece would stay in contact with the raw piece. That way it wouldn't fall and cause any troubles. This is gonna be our beautiful aluminum stock material that we're gonna use, as well as the bit that we will use for the end mill, and that's a 1/4 inch, I believe. I wanted to start the part by phasing the raw material first, and this was basically just so it would look better. We did have some problems because the part was a little bit too big and we didn't have anything at the bottom stabilizing it, which caused vibrations to happen, and once that happens, the part essentially kind of becomes more brittle, and that's why you hear a bunch of breakage happening. Next up, the actual CNCing part. As you can see, we have our G-code already inside the computer, and we are ready to begin. This is homeboy Baldo, who's gonna be helping us, and we are gonna turn on the coolant for this because we don't want the machine to overheat.
I want to get Rick the goat. Rick! The way that G-code works, essentially it communicates what you programmed to the computer. And the G-code is just a bunch of setup positions for the computer to know where to go, at what time, at what speed, at what spindle, at what rate of rotation, and all that good stuff.
So at this point, the CNC had performed the inside of the pocket, as you can see right here. It's pretty much like a spiral of the inside. Unfortunately, due to the actual restrictions of the sizes of the vise that we have for the CNC, the Tormach 440, it wasn't able to completely go around it, which was kind of a bummer. But I was like, you know what, whatever. I'll just end up cutting like the outside manually with a saw or something. And yeah, it should work. I mean, we have the inside, which was the hardest part. Unfortunately, we also had this machine, the saw, which was not broken, but it was really loose from the inside here. And that kind of cost us not to be able to use it at the moment. But yeah, don't worry, I have another solution. no guys, I did not get kicked out of the mechanical engineering machine shop, but they don't really let you work on any project that's not school related or work related. So let's just assume that this project is for class. My plan of action is simply to cut straight lines in different directions until I have sort of the shape that I want. So let's begin. I went ahead and sped up the video again to 2000 times the speed, and that's just because I don't want you guys to see the whole hour of me just cutting. This process was actually pretty tedious and long, and it was kind of difficult to push the aluminum plate, and that's just because of the weird shape that it has. That's why I was using these wood blocks to help me assist. A cool little trick that I learned was that if I had a weird angle, I would just make a notch and go from there.
The next thing to do is to get rid of these high points. To do that, I will do small cuts perpendicular to the line. This will make the high point very weak. That way, when I pass it through the sender, it will take a significantly shorter amount of time. And that's what we want.
Nice.
Next up, I will go ahead and sand these high points off.
This is the inside view of the machine shop at UTEP. And right here we have a lathe that we use to cut round stock. It's just like the CNC, but for round stuff. And then we have our metal sander, which we're gonna use currently to sand our pear. Right now we're gonna go ahead and get rid of this excess. Believe it or not, you have to be very careful when it comes to sanding, because a lot of people just think about it like, it's just sanding, whatever. But I've actually seen people try to sand a piece, and I'm gonna try to animate it right here quickly. But essentially they try to sand it, the piece gets caught between the wedge and the sanding, and the thing just sort of slaps into the sanding and it like makes a big sound. I've seen it twice happen before,
low-key happened to me once. But yeah, it's a little bit dangerous. Another thing that could be really dangerous is if you put your fingers or anything close to it. Obviously, if it's able to sand metal, it's gonna be able to rip your skin off. So just be careful if you ever use one. Right here, I'm trying to grab it by the end because it's really hot by the touch. You wouldn't believe how hot this thing can get any piece of metal. But yeah. A great solution to working with really hot pieces of metal is to use the forbidden milk. This milk is not real milk, it's a coolant, which is a combination between water and some syrup type thing. But it looks really yummy. It looks like it could be like a milkshake, so don't drink it.
Start with the kill switch. Jojo, pose, pose, pose. Jojo, pose, pose, pose.
Now one of my favorite parts to do at the end is sort of file the sharp edges because you don't want to cut your hands. The part was a little bit ununiform from the back and a little bit out of the front, so I decided to give it some hand sanding because I didn't want to use the big machine and kind of eat the whole material up. So yeah, this is a process that I like to do, so it leaves the part a little bit smoother and also leaves sort of a grain, like when you color, I guess, coloring book, you leave the lines all symmetrical, the same direction. It's sort of the same thing.
So this is almost the end result. There's some issues right here that were caused by the CNC, like I mentioned, or I don't know if I mentioned it. And also this outside part, it was kind of hard to reach with the big sander, so I'm gonna go ahead and take out my Dremel and give it some finishing touches. So here I have the different tool bits I think I'm gonna use. I'm gonna start with this kind of already used sanding bit. Place it right here and then chew most of the part, and then I'm gonna come in with the liner grit sandpaper and finish it off. And for the inside, I'm thinking I might use this little grinder. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I'll show you guys the results. Let's start with the sander. I like to leave a little bit of a gap in between right here. I don't know if you can really see it right here. That's pretty much because at the end, whenever you're trying to take the tool out, you can push it in and then take it out. It makes it a little bit simpler. Lock it in, tighten it, and you're ready to go.
A few moments later.
So right now the part's a little bit, oh, pretty hot, I would say. But it looks really good. I like that the little marks that I had before have been completely almost erased. And I think it looks good. I need to give it a little clean, maybe a little polish, and yeah, it's pretty much done. Let me try to see if I can get this part though. Hopefully. Same procedure, just backwards. And this is the part that I was telling you, so you push it a little bit and then you can take it out easier. Because sometimes once you pull, it kind of gets stuck. So leave a little bit of a gap. So this is a little wax that comes with the kit. I'm not quite sure how you're supposed to open it, so I just pried it open. And I have this little disc thing that's really soft. It says that it's for polishing, so we'll give it a try. We will try it on our testing piece because we don't want to fuck up our nice piece. See how it goes. Moment of truth. It says that it's sort of polishing, but it looks like shit. I don't think we're gonna go with that. So this is sort of what we're looking at. This is the Pear Phone. I'm not completely satisfied. It doesn't look exactly like the other one, like the original one. So we ended up printing a few little, I guess, screens for it. And we're gonna go ahead and cut it and see if it fits. I printed some different variations of sizes and I'll show you guys how it looks. Here it is. After some cuts here and there and some trial and error, we were able to get the screen on the phone. Now it looks a little bit more like the actual Pear Phone from iCarly. Side by side. Nice. So yeah, you guys hit me up if you guys want my new number. I'll give you guys a call through here. And hello.
This is Harold Wong from Wong Chinese.
I
have an order of orange chicken, beef broccoli, a sweet and sour chicken lo mein, and order of ribs. It's ready for you to pick up.
Nice, thank you. Actually, I really like the weight of this. Since it's made out of aluminum, it has a nice
Thick weight.
and this won't break or anything, so you can throw it, you can launch it at people, and this is most likely gonna kill them. So yeah, you have a weapon, you have a phone, and it's pretty good. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Go ahead and give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.